Hey everybody, welcome out to the show, Boardgame Reviews. This is a YouTube channel dedicated to the tabletop gaming hobby, and this video is part of a video series looking at the game of Mosaic, a story of civilization. Now in this video I'm going to show you a sample, I'm probably going to do mostly or most likely, depending on how the time goes, a complete gameplay for a solo versus the Hero Bodice AI. Now this game does come with the Hero Bodice AI, and the nice thing about this AI is you can play as a pure solo game where one player plays versus the AI. That's what this video is all going to be about. Additionally, you can even throw the AI as an additional player into the game that allows you to bring up the player count when you're playing the game as a lower player count game. For example, if you want to play the game as 3 players, but only one friend can come over, add in the AI, and now you effectively have a 3-player game. Now this video, like I said, I'm going to play 1 player versus the Hero Bodice. And I'm going to talk through everything, explain how we're setting things up, and go through the turns themselves. As we start going later in the turns, I'm going to start speeding things up, talk a lot less, and just show you a lot more of the gameplay. But that's enough of the chitter chatter. Come on back after the break for a full video, solo versus the Hero Bodice AI in Mosaic, a story of civilization. Now when it comes to the game of Mosaic, there are a couple homebrew rules that I do play with. I'm not going to throw any of them in this video. I'm going to show you the full solo AI and some of the persnicketyness of that I can create. But I do want to talk about some of those homebrew rules I do have, because I know I mentioned them in some of the videos, and I know a lot of people have been asking about them. One of the ones I keep getting the question on is, what's my homebrew rule to stop the thing that happens when you have a whole bunch of potential situations where you get a back-to-back scoring round? Well, what we do when we play this game, when I play with my friends, is the homebrew rule that we have is whenever a single player manages to get an Empire scoring card, they're going to place that Empire scoring card next to their player board. Then if any other Empire scoring cards manage to come up for any other players, they don't actually have to initiate that the Empire scoring card until the player who first had that card gets their full turn, and then they're going to discard the Empire scoring card. Nice reminder. And then that player who also managed to get the Empire scoring card at the end of their turn, they're going to activate the Empire scoring. We feel that adds a little bit better to the gameplay. It prevents those random times when you get those back-to-back Empire scoring cards, which can really influence things because it can happen at the most inopportune time. Well, I should say the most opportune time, because what will happen is one player will effectively double their score without any way for the other players to stop it. It can kind of cause a runaway leader problem. So for us, this kind of helped the situation. Basically, we just keep track and make sure there's never more than 1 Empire scoring card per full round, and that means that we don't get that back-to-back scoring. Additionally, I do want to discuss this right here, right now. The solo rules for this game were only available in the Kickstarter version of the game. If you go out there and buy the game right now, it is not going to come with the solo rules. My assumption is that the publishers of the game, Forbidden Games, are going to take the time to make that available to people out there who are very interested in it. That's why I want to film this video, because I think it is a very good thing. The AI does add a lot. Even if you don't want to play the game solo, the AI is really, really great in this lower player count games, to the point where I will not play this game as a 2-player game without throwing in the AI, because I think it makes that big of a difference. Now, if you have any comments or questions, make sure you leave them down in the YouTube comments down below. I will do my best to get to them as quickly as I can. You can also feel free to email me at off-the-shelf-boardgame-reviews. That is otsbgr@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer those questions as quickly as I can. If you enjoyed the videos, you enjoy the content I put out there, think about supporting the channel over on Patreon. Just tossing $1 in tip jar is a fantastic way to say thank you. This channel operates 100% sponsor free. I rely on the generosity of all the viewers out there. Matter of fact, my Patreon currently only sits at about $4 from the backers out there. That's why I've done things such as having this nice handy dandy aid right here, which is only going to be available to my Patreon backers. I'm trying to incentivize more people to help me keep the channel growing strong. All these games I purchased myself, so if you want to just take a really good example, this game is about $200. I'm getting about a little bit over $4 a month from my Patreon backers, which is effectively about $50 a year. And now, while I greatly am very thankful for that $50 I get, because it does definitely help me, you gotta understand that $50, if you figure it out, if I'm showing you videos for $200 games, that means effectively Patreon is paying for 1 game every 4 years. Now, I really do appreciate it, but I really could use your help. Help me keep my costs down, help me cover my costs of things that can be breaking. This year I brought a brand new camera. I have some audio equipment that's starting to fail on me, and these are all costs that are going to really starting to add up for me. Just by tossing $1 in tip jar, it's a great way to say thanks. Help me cover my costs and help keep this channel going strong. Make sure you like and subscribe, and now let's get to the gameplay of a solo playthrough of Mosaic, A Story of Civilization. Now, there's a couple of really cool things about the solo AI. First of all, the nice thing about the solo AI is it does not use a player board. Remember, it doesn't care about really trade goods. It doesn't really collect them when it comes to the merchant towns. It does score victory points off them, but it scores them a little bit differently. But we don't need to track production. We don't need to track population. Matter of fact, it doesn't even use population at all. So you can effectively take this board and put it off to the side. You are not going to use it, which is super nice, and it's going to make things nice and simple when you're setting up. But when you're playing the solo version of the rules, you do need to throw in a fake third player, which is basically going to be a static player. It's going to come out on the board. It's basically going to force you to compete with territory, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't take turns. As a matter of fact, it's only going to grow its cities every time there's an empire scoring around. Every time there's an empire scoring around, it's going to grow a little bit bigger, but basically it's just going to sit there causing problems and basically blockading us. So I myself, I'm going to be playing red. Why? Well, because every time I play board games, I always play red. Ask my friends, well, that's what I play. The static player is going to be the green player, but the hero bodice is going to be the purple player because it's our perpetrator. It's a purple trader. That sounded so much funnier in my brain 10 seconds ago. Anyways, they're going to be the purple player, and the only thing they're going to be watching for is collecting cards, gaining victory points, and the only thing I need to monitor with them is buildings, cities, farms, merchant towns, and also their military presence. I don't need their population all and also I'm not going to need that player board. So the nice thing about this is it does use a little bit smaller of a blueprint. That's kind of nice, and everything it should be able to fit underneath the camera except for my own personal player board. Of course, there's not enough room for that, but I'll go ahead and discuss things. Hopefully walk you through all the processes, and it seems really easy to follow along with. There's a couple other things to understand about the hero bodice itself. It doesn't collect and use government tiles or golden ages. It's only going to gain wonders and achievements through actions from the deck, and this is probably a good time to go ahead and talk to the way the deck of cards works for the hero bodice. There's going to be two deck of cards that come with the hero bodice. You're going to have your action deck of cards, and then you have your location deck of cards. Now, location deck of cards, we're going to build this up depending on which level of difficulty we want to play the game on. And then we're also going to have our action deck, which is also going to be based on the difficulty we want to play it on. On the lower right-hand corner of every one of these action cards, you're going to see 4 letters. E is for easy, M is for medium, C is for champion, I don't know, I forget what it is. X is for extremely hard. I don't think that's exactly what it means, but we're going to go with it just so you know what it is. It's from easiest all the way to hardest. So if I want to play on easy mode, there's a square around the E. That means this card is going to be in easy mode. This card is also in the extremely hard mode. This card doesn't have a square around the easy mode or the medium mode, so that means it's not being used if I play the medium mode. So basically, I'm going to go through this deck of cards after I figure out if I want to play on easy, medium, champion, or extreme, or whatever happens to be, basically the 4th difficulty level. And I'm going to find all the cards that match that specific thing, and I'm going to use that to go ahead and build the action deck. So just for simplicity today, I'm going to play the game on the moderate difficulty. So I'm going to go through this, find all the cards that have an M on it. So nope, 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 that was easy. That has an M on it. That has M square on it. This one has M. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and finally that one. So the only cards we are going to remove is the double action population tech card, the extra military card, and then the tax, tariff, and build action cards. So we just need to remove those nice and easy, not a problem at all. Next up for the setup, since we are effectively playing a 2-player game, I know since you have the static player, it kind of feels like a 3-player game, but effectively you're playing a 2-player game, which means that these 2 regions of the board do not exist, effectively just like a 2-player game. So just as a nice reminder, I'm going to have the cards, when we have them ready, over here blocking this section of the board, and then I'm going to keep the wonders and everything out here and the static player pieces right here to make it nice and easy, just as a reminder that those 2 locations don't exist. So basically we just have these locations going around in a circle, pretty much nice and easy. Next thing we need to do is we need to set up the board like we normally would. We'd put out all the fish tiles and all the fish towns. Sorry, port cities. I call them a fish town. That was kind of funny. The next thing we need to do is we're going to have to go out there and seed the board with all the cache tiles, cache, however you want to pronounce it, cache tiles. And then we are also going to seed the board with the trade goods. Now the way this is going to work is for the trade goods, we are going to do this the exact normal way we would do it in any typical game of Mosaic. You have all the tiles face down, you're going to shuffle them all up, and then you're going to put them all in the various sections of the board. Save video time, I'm going to go ahead and do this quickly off of camera. Now that I have all the cache tiles out on the board, next thing we need to do is we need to seed the board with the trade goods. Now what you need to do is go through all the trade goods and get exactly 2 of every single trade good for a total of 26 of these tiles. After you do so, you're going to simply take these and you're going to mix them all up, and I'm going to do a horrible job of this just to show you very quickly how this works. but you're going to make sure you mix them all up, and you're not going to have any of the X trade goods at all. They're basically not going to be played when we're playing with sold rules. After you do so, you're simply going to randomly take one of these, and you're going to place it above any one of the current cache or fish tiles are currently on the board. You're just going to place them right above it. If there's no spot directly above it, you're simply going to do like a clockwise pattern around a clock to go to the next open hex available to it. So for example, there's no open hex above this one, so I'm just going to circle to the right, reveal, and get this one. There is one above right here. After you have the board seated with all the trade good tiles, you should have 6 of them left over if you did it right, because we're only pointing out 20 of them. 26 minus 6 is 20. So if you have more than 6 left over, you did something wrong. Go back and refigure it. And I think I said put one above every fish tile just a second ago. I spoke wrong, obviously, if you read the rulebook, because that's 100% wrong. We're only going to put them in front of the trade, or see, I just did it again. You're basically going to put them above the cache tiles only, and then there's no immediate northern spot. You're going to go around like a clock face. I think that made much more sense the second way I explained it, because the first time I was kind of like, yeah, I kind of said a little bit wrong there, but hey, that happens sometimes. So the 6 ones that are not going to be used, we're simply going to remove them from the game. They are not going to be used at all. You simply throw them back in the box. You're basically done with them. Next up, you're going to go through all of the leader cards, and you're going to take 3 cards at random, and you're going to look at the 3 cards that you got, flip them over, look at them and say, well, that's kind of not the ones I wanted. No, you don't say that. What you do is you say, wow, look at the great choices I have. You're going to the 3 general cards that you have. Pick one that you want, and that's the one that's going to be your leader. I'm going to look at these, and I'm going to go, what the heck, why not just go for the general? Because I can, and because I want to make this video pretty darn quick and not stall the game out too much. After that, we're simply going to take the other 2, and we're going to shuffle them up, and whichever one we choose is one that we're going to be stuck with. So shuffle, shuffle, and we're stuck with the engineer. We'll take the engineer. The other one, the philosopher, is going to be removed from the game to do some stand-up somewhere else. That's a reference to a movie most of us have probably seen at this point. So those leaders can be removed from the game. They're not going to be used at all. And now we know that we're going to be playing against the engineer, and I know that I'm playing as the general here. After that, we're going to build up the build deck just like normal, the population deck just like normal, the tax and tariff deck just like normal. The only thing that's going to be a little bit different now is how the technology built deck is going to be built. Just like normal, we're going to go through all the technology cards, find all the cards that have the letter S in them. Once we found all the cards with the letter S in them, we're going to take those cards and we are going to shuffle them up, and that is how we're going to form the 2 starting hands for both our players. Remember, this is technically a 3-player game, but effectively it's really only a 2-player game. The third player is 100%. Only purpose they're for is just create a little bit of extra tension on the board. They do absolutely nothing except block spaces and, take up some of your trade goods. Makes it a little more interesting. Actually, no, they don't even really take that up. They kind of block your trade goods. That's a better way to say it. Kind of makes it harder to get to them. You'll see what I mean when we start playing the game. But we're going to take all the S technology cards. We're going to shuffle them up, and this is how we're going to start forming the technology deck for us and the technology deck for the hero bodice player. The first thing we need to do is we need to place 1 down for us, and then we're going to place 1 down for the hero bodice player. Then we're going to make 2 stacks of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that we have these 2 stacks, we can take this remaining stack of the S cards, place them onto the side for just a second. We're now going to take a look at all the technology cards that we have for one of these decks. We're going to look at all of them. We're going to take it. We're going to add it to our deck. Yes, I'm going to choose. I'm not actually going to do this. I'm going to do this really super quick so you know how this works. Gravity's a little strong today. Now that we've done that, we're going to take the remaining ones, shuffle them up, take one, give it over to that person. Then we're going to look at the remaining 2, look at them, decide, hey, this one's pretty cool, add it to our deck, and then the other one's going to go to the hero bodice. After that, we're going to take the other stack of 4. We're going to look at all the cards and say, that one looks cool, that one's cool, that one doesn't look cool. We're going to pick one, throw it down, shuffle them up, take one, give it to the hero boss player. That leaves us with 2. We're going to look at both the cards, say, I like this one, and then the other one's going to go to the hero boss player. Once we have done that, we now effectively are going to have our 2 stacks of cards, 1 for us and then 1 for the hero boss player, and everybody will be super happy. But now we got to do a couple quick things. Because the hero boss player doesn't play exactly like us when it comes to the technology cards. The way the hero boss player is playing, that they are basically looking at technology cards and all they care about is if they're worth any victory points at all. So if it has any victory points on the card, the hero bodice player is going to keep it. If it doesn't have any hero points on it at all, they're basically going to discard it. They're effectively removed from the game, not used at all. So we'll look through here, and again, I should emphasize, they never have to have the prerequisites for any of these cards. If any cards have prerequisites, they don't care. The only thing hero bodice cares about is if it has victory points on it. If it doesn't, just take it, remove it from the game. You're not going to need it. And we're going to make a couple stacks. We're going to make one stack that's going to have 2 or 3 victory points, and then we're going to make another stack that has a question mark. I don't have anybody in these stacks, unfortunately. Sorry, I guess I should have went through and actually made a fake deck, but you know what? Let's just do this random because it's more fun anyways. So the rest of these cards we can effectively remove from the game because the Hero Boss player is not going to use them. And they're going to start with their first stack of +2 victory points. We can just simply place that off to the side. That is all the victory points we know that the Hero Boss player is starting with. Next up, now we're going to go ahead and create the action deck for the Hero Boss player. Now I explained how we're going to actually start with the action deck. I am going to be playing on the medium difficulty, like I said earlier, so all these cards should have the letter M with a square box around it. If we go through these, there should be, I think, 9 if I remember correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, math hard. I'm going to go through all these cards. I'm going to find the one that says reshuffle. I'm going to place this one off to the side. I'm going to take all the other remaining cards. I will shuffle these up. Once I am happy with the shuffle, I'm going to take the top card. I'm going to shuffle it with the reshuffle card. And then I'll place those 2 cards at the bottom of the action deck. And that's going to form the action deck for the Hero Boss player. Now we must go ahead and figure out exactly what way we're going to pick and make the location deck for the Hero Boss player. Now, the location deck is going to be built based on what level we're playing on. There's 3 different levels we can play on for the location deck. But before we go through this and do anything, you're going to notice that some of these cards have the compass in full color. Most of them have the compass that is not in full color. You're going to want to go through all these cards and find all the ones that have the compass in full color. There should be 5 of them, unless I'm having a moment. I think there's 5, maybe there's 6. That'd be embarrassing if there's 6 because you know what? Maybe I should plan better. Nope, there's 5. 5, right? Hey, I got it right. There are 5. So the rest of them, they don't have the colored compass. We can simply place them off to the side just for a moment. We'll be taking them back in just a moment. But you're going to see the 5 that do have the colored compass. There's 1 for every one of the single remaining areas on the board. We have Numidia, Egypt, Assyria, Greece, and Italy, which are the remaining areas that are only available on this board right now. So now that we have our 5 cards that have the colored compass, we need to figure out exactly where the Hero Boss player is going to start. And we're going to use a starting deck of cards to go ahead and figure that out. So I have the 5 cards right here with the colored compasses on them. I'm going to take these, I'm going to shuffle them up really quickly and draw the top card, and then I will place this down to the side just for a moment. This is going to dictate what is the starting primary empire for the opposing Hero Boss player. This will become very important later on in the game, but this is the starting empire. And how we denote the starting empire for the Hero Boss player is we will take one of the population guys. This is the only population guy we will need, unless we're using the fancy scoreboard. Then you're going to need extras because there are no score markers that come with the game. And I guess I should look for those, but I'll do that later off camera. But we're going to take one of these population guys and we're going to use them to signify what is our starting empire. And now we have 4 cards left over, and those are going to be used to figure out what our secondary starting location is, and also a starting location for the static player who is also in the game. Now to figure out the secondary, we're simply going to take the remaining 4 cards, draw the top card, and we will get the city of Egypt. Now we have 3 cards left over. We'll place those down to the side just for a moment. Actually, I'll place them off to the side so I don't make any problems here. We will place that card down the side. Now these are the 2 starting cities for the Hero Boss player. And now the Hero Boss player is going to put out 2 of its cities in these different locations. 1 in Assyria, 1 in Egypt. Where are they going to place out their cities? Well, that's going to be based on what one of these cage tiles has the highest value in each one of those individual areas. So we're going to start with Assyria. We're going to look at all the cage tiles in Assyria. We see we have a 5, we have an 8, we have a 7, we have a 9. So we see the highest one is going to be a 9 stone. So we're going to place the city right here on top of this 9 stone. Don't discard this token because we're going to need to do something with it in just a moment. Next up, we're going to take the secondary city, which is going to be the city of Egypt. Again, I'm going to look at all, or I said city, the nation of Egypt. Then we'll look at all the available cage tiles, and we're going to find the highest value cage tiles. Here's one caveat. The Hero Boss player during setup and during setup only will ignore any one of the coin value cage tiles because they don't want those for the initial setup. You'll see why in just a moment. But we're going to basically look at the highest value cage tile that is not a coin, and they're also going to place their city on top of that. So we have a coin, we're going to ignore those. We have an 8, and then we have a 6. So obviously they are going to go ahead and take the 8. They will place their capital city right here, and now we have 2 stone tiles. This is going to cause a little bit of problem, and you'll see why in just a second. Well, it's actually not really a problem, but it does show one of the things in the rule book that's a little bit confusing. I'm actually going to grab the rule book here just so I can show you exactly what I mean, because it's worded really, really bizarrely, and I think some people are getting a little bit hung up on this. So I'm going to pull it out, read it to you, and then explain exactly what it means. So in the rule book for the setup, what it tells you on the setup for this part of the board is after you place your first starting city and your second, that's not even a word. Your second starting city, that might be a word. When you place your second starting city, what it says right here is you're going to find it. Take these 2 cash tiles and use them in step 3 below. So we're going to take our 2 cash tiles right here, and it says, Hero Boss's starting currency tokens take 3 currency tokens, either stone, food, or ideas, matching the currency type and the higher cash value tile of the 2. So what I would do following this explanation is I would take 3 stone, because I have 3 stone as the higher cash total. Then it's going to tell me to take the lower of the 2. I'm going to take 2 of those. So I would take 2 of those. And then it's going to tell me to take 1 of the remaining ones. So the remaining ones would be 1 idea and then 1 food, because that is the remaining one. So I'll read it right here. It says, where are we? Take 2 currency tokens of the lower value cash tile. Did so. And then take 1 currency token of the remaining currency type. Well, the remaining currency type is food, and the remaining currency type is also idea. Then it says if Hero Boss ends up with 5 of 1 currency type, like we did right here, it'll also take 1 of each of the other 2. So you would think by the way that is worded, you would grab another 1 of each of the additional other ones. No, that's wrong. If Hero Boss takes 5 of 1 single resource, you're going to do an instead of an and, which is what it says here. The rule book says and is actually you're going to do an instead of. So instead of getting a total of 7 resources, you're only going to get a total of 7. Instead of getting 9 resources, you're only going to get 7 resources. So that is how that's going to work out. So the maximum Hero Boss will ever get is maybe a total of 7 resources, but most of the time they're actually only going to end up getting 6. For example, if my cash tile had looked something like, instead of I had gotten this, if I'm not changing up because this is the way the board is set, I'm just going to go with the way the board is set. What I would have done is I would take in 2 of these for the food and then 1 of these for a total of 6. But since that's not how it worked out, since my 2 highest cash tiles happen to be stone, I'm going to be stuck with that. We are going to get a total of 5 stone, 1 idea, 1 food. I know it seems weird. I know it's worded very strangely here in the rule book, but hey, that's just the way it is. Just going to throw that off to the side because I don't need it. Let's just go ahead and take our resources. And now we move on, and hey, we don't need those 2 cash tiles no more. I can go ahead and remove them from the game. Let's go ahead to the next step. And now it's time for me to figure out where I want to start out with my first starting city. And the only trick here is since Assyria and Egypt already have my opponent's starting locations, I can only start on one of the remaining 3 areas, and those are going to be the remaining 3 cards I have, which is Greece, Numidia, and Italy. I am looking at 2 possible locations. Italy looks good to me because I can see some good benefits for starting Italy, but also Numidia looks really, really good for me right now, at least at the starting point of the game. I need to move this card here so I don't keep hitting it with my elbow. Good spot right there. So I am contemplating between the 2, and I actually think I'm going to lean towards Numidia because I am actually liking this 10 food right here, because one negative thing about the general is we may start with a lot of money, may start with a lot of population, a lot of tax production, but we don't start with a lot of ways to make population. And population is something the general needs because they want to build a lot of cities across the board. Well, it's not the only way to play, but it's a pretty darn good way to play, at least in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this area as my starting location. Now, unlike the Hero Boss player, I do get the full value of that cash tile, so it is 10 food. I am gladly, most happily, well, very, very happily, going to take 10 food because that's going to be nice and super duper awesome. Now, I've not done the technology deck. I'm going to do the technology deck in just a second because I'm still trying to decide if I want to do my homebrew rule or not. I'm leaning towards not doing it because I want to keep this playthrough as legitimate to the actual full rules of the game as possible, so probably just going to do it the normal, real way. But we now have 3 locations left, but out of these 3 locations, I need to remove one of them. I need to remove Numidia because I have started Numidia. So we'll take that, we'll place it off to the side, don't need to worry about it. So we have Italy and Greece left over. We're going to shuffle these up, and now this is going to figure out and tell us exactly where the static player is going to start. Static player is going to start with manufacturing towns in the top card, and he's going to start with farm towns in the bottom card. So let's go and take the top card first, which is Italy. They will take a capital city building, Let's grab one of these, make my life easier, and we're going to find the lowest value cache tile that happens to be over here, including money as a possibility, because they don't care if they remove money from the game. So we have a 7, an 8, and a 9, and a 15. So the 7 is the lowest. We'll remove it. They get nothing for it. Remember, they're just here to block us. And then we're going to take a manufactured town, and we will place it next to that. And then we will take another city, place it next to that, and then we will take another manufacturing town. Now, a trick we need to remember about when we're doing this is we cannot take or put these down on locations that would actually allow them to take away regular trade goods. They never are going to eat up trade goods. That's the one constant for the static player. They do not do that. So now the remaining one we know is going to be Greece. Greece is where the farms are going to go. So Greece is the word, and Greece says that this is the lowest value one. So we will take that just like that. And we'll place the capital city there. Now we're going to get into a little bit of an interesting one because we're actually going to be forced to remove a good from the board because of how this works. I'll see exactly how this works in a second. So that was the lowest value one. Next thing we'll do is we will do a farm. After the farm, we will do another capital, and then we will do another farm. Uh-oh, we're all blocked in. What do we do now? Well, the rules keep it nice and simple. We finally simply find a hex tile that does not have a cache or trade good in it, and we will place that tile or that farm, in this case, in that location. Yes, this does mean that we're going to break the rules. We're effectively going to create a lone little farm somewhere out in the middle, but let's just pretend they found that technology card of the explorers, which allowed them, or no, cartographers. It's cartographers, right? I think it's cartographers that gives you the free farm. So let's just pretend they managed to start with a free cartographers card, and we just don't know it yet. But now that we've placed out all of these 5 cards for our starting cities, now we're going to take these 5 cards, and we are going to return these 5 cards back into our location deck. Now we need to build a location deck depending on what level we want to play the game on. The levels are isolationist, moderate, and expensive. I'm going to sound like a goofball. Why don't I just grab the book so I can get the right terms here and make this so much more efficient? Because I actually want to play it on the number 1 level, and there's a little bit of confusion in there, and I want to make sure I point that out. Anyways, let's go and pull out the rule book and show you what I'm talking about. So the possible levels for the preparation of location decks is the isolationist, hey, at least I got one right, the standard, and then the aggressive. Why couldn't I remember aggressive? Well, it's just because I could not remember aggressive. So we're going to play on the isolationist level, which is basically, he is not going to expand that much, but you're going to see more gameplay. I think I'm going to play on that isolationist level. If I play aggressive, it's going to be a lot more positive as I try to think about my turns a lot more, and I want this video to go really super quick, or at least as quick as possible. So the first thing we need to do is Herobotus needs to take a starting region card for his starting regions. Now we see that Herobotus has a couple starting regions. Lay that down gently so I don't mess anything up. So we're going to go through the stack of cards, and we need to find his starting region cards. So the starting region cards are Assyria and Egypt. So we'll take those 2 cards. So we have Assyria, and then we have Egypt, and we're going to take both of those cards that happen to match that. But we're actually going to take 2 of each. So we're going to take 2 Assyrias, and then we are going to take 2 Egypts. I should have had these off to the side to make this much more efficient. So there's Egypt, and there is Assyria. So now that we have these cards right here matching for that, the next thing we need to do is we need to pick the starting region card for them. So it's their static player starting region card. So the static player has 2 starting regions. That's going to be Italy and Rome. So we'll take 1 Italy, and then we will take 1 Rome, wherever I'm in Rome. Why did I not have it on top? Oh, sorry, Greece. Apparently I just 100% failed geography, and it's now on camera. Rome, Italy, Greece. Yes, totally failed geography. Feel free to make fun of me. That's the fun of trying to make videos and sound intelligent at the same time. You're bound to make mistakes, and it's always comical every time you do so. Now that we've started for the static player, now we need to go to the next section, which is going to be 1 reshuffle card. Go through, find the 1 reshuffle card. We now have it. Hey, we're now happy. Now the next thing we need is we need Herobotus' Civilization Homeland Region cards. 2 of them. Well, if you look at the specific wording of the rules, the exact wording of the rules, it specifies that this right here, due to the population tile right there, that is going to be Herobotus' Civilization Homeland Region. So that is our homeland region. So following the word specifically there, it would be telling us, since we only have 1 homeland region, we would take 2 more Assyria cards. There are not 2 more Assyria cards. It's kind of a bad verbiage in the rule book. What it's really doing is telling you to take 1 of each one of those remaining areas. So I want you to take 1 more Assyria and 1 more Egypt. I know the wording is really funky. Trust me, that's what the rule book really means when it talks about that. And then we're going to take 1 of the 2 region cards for the static player, choosing randomly. So we're going to take 1 Rome and 1 Greece. I just did it again. Italy and Greece. We'll take 1 Italy and Greece. We will take these 2 cards, we're going to shuffle them up, and we're going to randomly take 1 of them, and that is going to be how we are going to build a complete deck. There should be a full set of 10 cards in the deck. If we have 10 cards, we did it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Congratulations, we built the location deck properly. Now we can go ahead and move on. Once you have the location deck built up, the thing you need to do is go through the location deck, find the reshuffle card, place it off to the side. Take the rest of the location cards, you're going to shuffle them up really good. Take the top, well, let me shuffle them very good here, so it's actually a real shuffle. Take the top 2 of them, you're going to shuffle them with the reshuffle card, and every time this location deck empties, you're going to do the exact same thing. Just like the action deck, every time the action deck empties, you're going to take the top card plus the reshuffle card, shuffle them like this, and then you're going to place them all on the bottom. That way we have a nice, easy randomization of exactly how this is going to go. So every time we need to use a location, or for every time we need a location or trade goods, we're going to pull up 1 location cards, and every time the hero boss takes their turn, they're simply going to flip over the top action card. That's going to be the action they're going to perform this turn. Once one of the reshuffles come back up, that's when we're going to reshuffle the deck, and that's how it's going to operate. So during this setup, I skipped 2 things, and I skipped those 2 things because I wanted to add a little bit of variety to the game, and I'm going to put a nice little thing on the side here that's actually going to show the correct turn structure for the setup here. Kind of did a little bit differently because I was trying to speed through things. So there's a couple things we have left that we need to set up. First thing we need to do is we need to do the technology deck, but before that, right at the beginning of the game, before the players even pick their leaders, what we need to do is we need to figure out which governments we're going to have available to us in this game, which golden ages we're going to have, which wonders we're going to have, and what civilization achievements we're going to have. And it's very easy to remember just by going 3, 4, 4, 5. I hope that helps you remember it. So basically it's going to be 3 governments, 4 golden ages, 5 wonders, and 5 civilization achievements. Those are going to be the ones that are part of the game. All the others are going to be removed. So it's not like a standard game. So I'm going to take the top 3 governments, make my life easy here. Other 3 are going to be removed from the game. I'm going to take the top 4 golden ages. Others are going to be removed from the game. I'll take the top 5 wonders, 2, 3, 4, 5. Others will be removed from the game. And then finally, we'll take the top 5 civilization achievements. The rest of them will be removed from the game. So after that's been done, then you go through the rest of the setup process of picking your leaders, seeding all the decks, and then the final thing you would do after setting the game is we're going to set those technology cards. Now, the best way to set the technology deck, I think, is my homebrew rule, because I think it's kind of the best way to do it, and that's the way I like to do it. That's the way I prefer it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to follow the normal rules for the setup here. So what we will need to do is we will take the Empire scoring card, we will take all the starting cards, and we'll take all the non-starting cards, and we will simply shuffle these all together without making a huge mess. Let's get ready for a mess just because I tempted fate. So after we shuffle them, all going to give them a really good rifle shuffle just so we have enough of a variety. And things are mixed up pretty darn good, so there's no shenanigans, and this is a good randomized game because that's what we want. After we've done so, just like a normal game, we will split this into 3 equal decks. That wasn't quite equal. Wow, that was like splitting in half. That was a horrible job, Mike. You have completely failed on splitting into 3 equal stacks. Then it looks more like 3 equal stacks. Now that we have 3 equal stacks, we'll take the Empire scoring card and we will shuffle into the middle stack, because just like playing this game as a 2 or 3 player game, the Empire scoring card is going to go into the middle stack, and then the rest of the stack we know is going to be the bottom and the top, and just like a normal 2-player game. So we're going to simply take all the cards, we're going to shuffle them up, get a good shuffle going here, and that should be good. This will be the middle section. Has the Empire scoring card, that goes in the middle, that goes on top, and this will be all of our starting technology cards. Now that we've done that, the only thing left to do is we need to figure out exactly which starter resources we get to get as a starting general player. So to start, we get 20 money. Simple. Next thing we're going to get is we're going to gain 1 infantry unit. I like that. That's always a good thing. So we will get 1 infantry, not cavalry. Infantry. Fingers, you must respond to what you've been instructed to do. Next thing we will get is we will get 1 extra population, meaning that we get to start with 6 population, which is super duper nice, and we're going to get plus 10 on our tax production. Well, Time to tax the people, because that's what the Romans do. And then also we have our special ability, may recruit up to 3 military units rather than 2 when it comes to doing the recruiting phase. Now here's the important thing to understand. The engineer, even though it says on his card that he would have all these starting resources, the Hero Bodies player does not get any of their special abilities from their specific leader card that they have chosen. Their specific leader card is going to be mixed with the one specific action card, which will reference the leader. The only thing they really get off their leader card is their Pillar of Civilization. Everything else you can pretty much ignore. So the only thing you need off their leader card is the name, engineer, and their Pillar of Civilization. Everything else is going to be ignored. They basically have the 5 starting resources. Sorry, math hard. The 6 or 7 starting resources based on our starting cities. We actually get our full production from having our leader. That's the slight difference of how that works. So let's see what we got for our golden ages. We have heroes, medicine, city, state, and art. Nice and easy for our golden ages. For our wonders, we have Colossus, or Colosseum, Colossus, close enough. Colosseum of Rome, Temple of Artemis, the Great Pyramid, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, and the Colossus. Oh, that's why I said Colossus, because I was foreshadowing and predicting, or using my psychic powers I do not have. Next thing we'll have is militaristic, population, urban, well-governed, and seafaring. And then the governments we have is monarchy, theocracy, and tyranny. So that is everything that we have. Put our journal to the side, let's clean things up, and let's go ahead and get things started, because I think we're just about ready to start the game. And the starting player is always going to be the active real human player. The hero bodies always goes second. So before we start, let's go ahead and finish up the board. We have writing. We have irrigation, we have literature, we have customs house, and then finally we have currency exchange. For our 2 population cards, we are going to have a +2 population card, and then we will have a +3 population card. For our build cards, we will have a garrison city. Next up we are going to have is project city walls. Next up we have is capital city. After that, we will have a populous city. And then after that, we will have project public baths. And then finally, for tax and tariff, we will have a tariff card, and we will have another tariff card. I will take my starting resources of $20 plus my beginning military, which I will put on the board in my starting nation, plus my starting food, and I think we're pretty much ready to go. I have my 6 population, I have my starting production of everything. Pretty much I think we're ready to be set. Oh wait, it's a good time to go over the cards I have for my technology cards. So my technology cards I have is Royal House, Claybrooks, Villages, Bronze, and then finally I have Dietary Rules. So the only one that has a requirement is Bronze. I don't have the hammer yet, but my leader does give me the military symbol to get that in play. So if I have actually I do have it. So I will play clay bricks first, which says +2 to my stone production and +1 to my population. So my stone is now at 2. And now I have 7 population. I will add that down as part of my set collection. Next up will be, well, let's just look at bronze, see what this gives us. Gain 3 infantry units, may be placed in any region. Gain 1 bronze trade good from the board. Well, that is nice. How can I infect the opponent? A lot, plus make my life really, really cool. So let's take bronze away from here. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'll take bronze away from there, and then I'm going to gain 3 military units. So I'm going to go, since I already have 1 military or 1 infantry, I'm going to go 2 cavalry plus 1 more infantry. It says gain 3 infantry units, may be placed in any region at all. Well, that's going to be kind of super duper nice. I think what I'm going to do is let's just start playing very, very aggressively. So now I have superiority in this area, and see, it's 2, 4, 6, 4 influence. That'd be halfway there too. That might be worth it too. I'm right next to him. I think I'm actually going to do this like this. Let's just do this like this. That way I have halfway to the point of doing anything, and actually even smarter, let's play super duper smart. This guarantees I have at least 2 victory points from this nation. I have at least 2 victory points from this nation, and then I'm going to play smart. Let's play smart. So maybe place in any region, gain 1 bronze trade good. We did that. So that's been part of our set collection. Next up we will get is villages. Gain 1 population and 1 food production. 1 population, 1 food production. So my food production is now going to be at a whole 1. Woohoo! We now have 1 food production. Yay for us. Next up, dietary rules. Gain, 1 population. This is nuts. Gain 1 population plus 1 food production. That puts me at 2 food production. I am getting a lot of early symbols. That is super nice. Finally, we get Royal House plus 3 tax production and gain $10. So we start with 10. That's going to put us at 13 tax production, plus we're going to gain $10. Now we have $30. That is super duper nice, and that's even victory points for us at the end of the game. So that looks really darn nice for us right out of the gate. Well, now what do I want to do? Now I have tons of options. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 population right now. Wow, that's super duper amazing. Wait. I could actually go for this really, really quick and easy and quick and early and score some really awesome victory points straight out of the gate, and that would be really darn nice for me because that's less thing that they can go for themselves. So we get to start the game, and I need to figure out exactly what I want to do for my strategies, my tactics, looking at all the cards that are out there, everything is available, and figure out exactly how I want to go about winning this game. And actually, I think I just realized I cheated. Let me double check on my cards, because I think I just cheated on a card. I think it's all in one region. Gain 3 infantry units may be placed in any region, not any regions, any region. So I think I'm going to go with my original plan, which was over here just like that. Just to keep me honest, so I am not a horrible, horrible cheater, because it's not what I want to be. At least not in this game. Okay, so the first thing I am thinking about doing is I think I'm going to go ahead and go right out of the gate and score 6 victory points. So here's 10 food. I need a total of 20 food to get to a 12 population to get this card right here. I'm at 9 population right now, so if I could get 20 more or 10 more food or $20 more, $20 more, I can gain 3 population. I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend the 10 food, spend the $20 right out of the gate. I will buy this population card right here, which is going to give me 3 more population. That puts me on a total of 12 population, and we're going to claim 12 victory points right out of the gate, because I think that's just going to be cool. That will be it for our turn, and now we get to go to the Hero Bonus player. Now remember, the Hero Bonus, refill, must remember to refill. Now the Hero Bonus, all of their actions are going to be based on this deck of cards. Every time I'm going to flip over one of these cards, it's going to tell me all the actions I'm going to perform for them. For example, this one is the Tax and Tariff Card. I'll put this one off to the side. You'll see why that's important in just a second here. It says if the population card is next to the discard pile, it's not, then I'm going to gain a infantry. If it's not, I'm going to spend 1 food to do that action, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to work for 3. So what it says is I'm going to spend 1 food, because I do have 1 food right here. Discard the 1 food, and it says take lowest unrest, tax, and tariff card and place this card next to the discard pile. Well, they're both exactly the same. So I'm going to take this one, because I think they're exactly the same, right? Take the lowest unrest, tax and tariff card. Yep, they're both exactly the same. 1 unrest. So I'll just take this one because it doesn't really matter. They will take it, and that will be added to the engineer, and that's effectively out of the game, and that's their action. Now I'm going to keep this one off to the side. You'll see exactly why when it comes to 2 specific cards. But that's basically their turn. Now it is back to my turn, and I need to figure out exactly what I want to do after I remember to fill up the decks, because that's what the smart thing is to do when we're playing this game. So I have tons and tons of options available to me. I have to move this over just a little bit so I don't confuse myself. Otherwise, I'm going to cause myself some problems. I have tons and tons of options out here right here now, and I think I'm looking towards everything I have. So Capital City looks really good. Project City Walls looks absolutely fantastic, because I know as a general I'm probably getting a lot of those symbols right there. Plus Garrison City is also one of those symbols. Gain a military unit in a region where the city is placed. I am actually liking that best right now, so I'm going to go ahead and build the city. So to build a city, it costs 4 stone plus 2 population. I don't have any stone at all, so I'm going to spend $10, and I'm going to get $2 and change, and that's going to effectively be my 8 stone, leaving me with $2. I'll take the Garrison City, and it says gain 1 military unit in a region where the city is placed. So I'm going to be placing this city right here because I want the $15. I'll place this right here so I don't forget to do that. And then I get to place 1 military unit in a region where the city is placed. Well, let's see here. We currently have 2 infantry and 3 cavalry, so let's go ahead with 1 infantry right now. Maybe infantry, dig, deep, get an infantry. I'll place the infantry in this region right here. That looks really, really good to us. And then we get to add 5 to the tax and tariff bonus on that slot for the tax and tariff location. That's pretty darn good for us. This garrison city has been built, and we now have 2 of those symbols, so we are super duper happy about that, and that is really darn nice. We are done. Now we get to go back over to the Hero Bodice player. So we'll flip over the top card, and we will have the military card. So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to gain 1 infantry and 1 cavalry. So 1 infantry and 1 cavalry. If I was smart, I would have separated all these in the beginning. Now you get to listen to a whole bunch of rustling. And we will place these over in their starting city, just like that. So now that we got our 2 pieces of military, infantry and cavalry, we need to figure out exactly where they're going to be placed on the board. The way they're going to be placed on the board is going to be based on the draw from location deck. So I'll draw the top card location deck, and we will get Italia. So we would place those in Italia if we had a city there. We don't, so now we're going to go clockwise, trying to find the next first place that is legal for us to place a city. Can't place here, can't place here, we can place here, so I guess just where I set these guys down is where they're going to go, almost like I was predicting the future. I wasn't, but you know, it can feel like it sometimes when it looks kind of cool, just like that. So make a little bit of room so this board looks a little bit cleaner, and that is going to be it for that part. Now we need to do the technology action. So for the technology action, they are going to either pick the one furthest card to the left that has the multi-victory point symbol on it. If there is not one, well, we'd be spinning our ID, which we're going to do. If there is not one, they're going to look for a 2 or a 3 victory point one. There is a 2 victory point one. Can't believe I'm forgetting to do that every time. There is a 2 victory point one, so that is the action we can do. So we will discard this idea, and then they will take this victory point card right here. We'll put in the victory point pile over here with the other victory point cards, and then we'll refill because we always refill by sliding away from the draw deck when it comes to that. And I forgot the left. Darn it. That's what happens when I get too far ahead of myself. Plus, they're going to take the one to the left, which has nothing on it. That is going to be discarded. Now we will slide over, and then we're going to refill the technology deck. And that's going to be it for the Hero Bodice player. Now we get to go back to our turn. Now before I get too far in the weeds, I want to see what kind of civilization achievements I should actually be working towards to see what I can get. Because I'm looking at populous city, because if I get population, I keep building it out. If I keep building out across the land, it's going to be easier to get my military units out. So we have 5 cities. Well, that's definitely something I'm going to be working forward. 12 tax. Well, actually, wait. Hey, I already have that. I'm going to claim that because I have 13 tax reduction. That's victory points for me. That is mine. 3 port cities and 6 military units. Well, how many military units do I have out there? I have 5 military units. So I am thinking that I want to work towards that 6 military units quickly as possible. I also want to try to make sure I'm getting some port cities out there. Hopefully some port cities are going to come up pretty quickly, because I would rather get the money out of them, which is always better because I need lots of money for all the things I'm trying to do here. So I think I'm going to build a populous city. I have my $15 I should have grabbed. I think I forgot. Oh, matter of fact, I know I forgot to grab that. So I'm going to grab my $15 I forgot to grab because I am going to need that very, very quickly. And then we are going to build a populous city. I will take the populous city, and there's a city. We will spend 2 people to do that, but then we're going to gain 1 back. That gives us 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 population left over. I'm going to put this city right here just like this because I want the stone. If I'm going to keep building up, I'm going to need lots of stone production to keep up with all the production of everything I'm going to be doing. So let's add $5 to the holding area because that's what we do when we build a city. And then we will place this card just like that. So I have 3 of the gray, 3 of the green, 3 of the, what were they? Do I have any of those? Okay, I can get, well, I don't have the harps, but I definitely have the gray 3 of, and I have 3 of the green. So that's something for me to pay close attention to as well. So I built my city right here. I put the money out here. Let's make sure we refill the build deck, which is going to come out with a farm town. Not that bad for us, but we are effectively done. I spent everything I need to do. We're done with our turn. Now we get to go back over to the Hero Bodice player. Hero Bodice, technology. They're going to spend 1 idea. Unfortunately, they don't have any ideas, so they're going to work. they're going to work, which is going to give them 3 ideas, because that sounds like a great idea for them. That is their turn. Now we get to go back to my turn. I need to start looking everything out here. I am thinking I want project walls quickly. I also want that darn capital city as quick as possible. Which one is more important to me though? I like project walls. I have 3 military symbols right now. I should be able to get more military symbols, but I'm not seeing any out here. So I don't know if I want to take the risk of going after something which could be a gamble. Don't know if I'm quite ready to do that quite just yet. But, this is where it comes in. I know I need ideas. I need ideas badly, because ideas are going to be for the technologies. Ideas are also going to allow us to build projects which require stone and ideas as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a port city for, no, it's too, nope. He who hesitates is lost. I need to build a regular city. I'm going to build a city. I'm going to build a capital city right here. I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to have to do it anyways. So we'll spend 2 population for the capital city. I need stone and I need ideas. I have the, or sorry, I don't need ideas. I need the stone. So here's the stone. I'm going to get 1 stone back. That'll be the 4 stone and the 2 population to build the capital city. I will build a capital city and I'm going to put it right here just like that, because I wanted the ideas. That's what I was really going for, was the 10 ideas. So I now have 10 ideas, and hopefully that's going to give me a bright idea, and I'll put my capital city down here. We now have 4 of the gray symbols. I should have these memorized by now, but I don't, but that's okay. Now we get to go over to the Hero Bots player after I refill the board. But before I refill the board, I must look at this. It says clear any offering track, placing those cards on the bottom of the deck and refill the offer. So I think what we will do, because we're going to buy that, we're going to clear the offering deck. Those will be placed on the bottom. Darn it. No, I don't want to do that. I want to get that darn card. I'm not going to do that. He who hesitates is lost. I'm going to clear the population stack, because these population cards are very expensive. I might need more population, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford them. So I think that's going to be the smarter action. There we go. That was a better idea for me. So I got a 1 and a 2 population, which only require 5 and 12 food. Much easier for me to get. I think that's what I'm going to do. That's the better idea, I think, here. We'll draw the next card, which will be a port city. Yes, that's exactly what I was hoping would come out. That is going to be nice. That's going to make me very, very happy. Technology card. We will spend 1 idea for the technology card, and then we will look at the available technologies. We're going to look for any of the question mark victory points. There are none. We're going to look for any of the 2 or 3s. There are none. So we're going to look for the ones that has the most symbols. It has 3 symbols and 3 symbols. So now we're going to look for the tiebreakers, one that matches the symbol of the leader. The leader has a symbol of the hammer, so that means we're going to take machines. So I'm going to take machines plus the card to the left, and since these cards offer no victory points or anything at all, there's something removed from the game. We will refill the deck or the row just like that. We will gain colony, which looks really good. And then we're going to get early sciences, which is idea and victory points. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Wow, that could be, I'm thinking colony is going to be the next one. But now it is back to my turn. And for my turn, I am thinking that we want to build that port city. We also want to get project walls. So both of those look really, really darn good to me right now. Port city's good for money. We will gain the $10, which is absolutely fantastic because we only have $17 right now. But Project Walls is also absolutely fantastic for the strategy we think that we are going to go for. So I'm going to take this. This is going to cost 5 stone and 5 ideas. So here's my 5 stone. Here is my 5 ideas, just like that. And we will add this to our empire. We now have 4 of those because we get 1 from our leader, which means we have 4 of the warlike symbols. Halfway there to gaining 1 of the golden ages. So let's refill the build and we will get the architectural city. Back to the Hero Bots. Hero Bots will play population. Okay, so if Tax and Tariff Card is next to discard pile, it is, we're going to gain a military. So that is what we get to do, and that's why I put the Tax and Tariff Card off to the side. So we're going to gain a military. Where is this military going to appear? This military is going to appear in Greece. So we cannot put it in Greece because we do not have any cities in Greece. So we're going to go counterclockwise because the arrow, nothing, nothing. So this will go over here in this region because that's the first legal place that we can place that city. That's it for the Hero Botus player. Now it gets to go back to us, and we have lots of options, except one of them is only the really good option, which is take the colony. So I am going to take colony because this is absolutely fantastic. That's going to cost us 5 ideas. This is really super, super great. I can't play it. Oh no. Oh no, I can't play it. Well, then I am not going to buy it just yet because that would be a bad idea. Pun intended. I think, let's see here, am I forgetting again? I think I'm forgetting again, aren't I? Because I built 3 cities. Capital city, added 5. Populous city, added 5. Garrison city, added 5. Yep, you know what? I forgot to put money over here again. I don't know why, but when I play this game solo, I forget that every single time because it's so easy to forget to put money into the holding area every time you build a city. I am looking at all the options now. I could just take the colony card and just hope for one of those cards that come up just so the Hero Botus doesn't get it, because Hero Botus, well, Hero Botus will take that card and that card, so I know that card's not going away. I don't have to worry about that just yet. What they may do is take away other things, although Port City would give me the symbol. I will do that. So we're going to build a Port City. That just was too darn perfect. So Port City is going to cost us 2 population. It's also going to cost us 5 stone, or 4 stone. I don't have 4 stone, I have 1, so I need 3 more stone, or $6. So there is our $6 right there. Now we can build a Port City. And where do I want this Port City to go? I'm thinking that we want this Port City right. Well, let's see here. We got 2, 4, 7, so we're winning over here. Let's do the Port City right over here, which puts us close to these ideas. I actually like that idea better. No pun intended. So we built the Port City. I spent the 2 population to do so. I spent the stone, money and stone to do so. So now I'm going to gain $10. Then I'm going to add $10 over here into this section just like that. And then we will add the Port City card just like that. And that is going to be our turn. That makes us super duper happy. What else do we have here? Military, port cities, and regular cities. Oh, regular cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will claim that for another 6 victory points. Nice and easy. Put on a new build card, which is going to be Project Gaineries. Hero Botus is going to go. Technology, they will spend an idea. And there are no question marks. There is no ones worth victory points. So they're going to take the one with the most symbols plus the one to the left. And whenever they can't take one to the left, they take the one to the right. Neither one of these are worth victory points, so we can effectively just remove those from the game, slide these over just like that, and we'll get monuments, aha. And then we'll get mathematics. And now we're starting to get some cards out there that the Hero Botus actually wants to go for, but now it's back to our turn, and I want that darn colony. So we're going to spend the 5 ideas. And we will take this colony right here, and it says add a free city. So since we're doing the add action, that does not allow us to put money in the build section over here. So we're going to get a free city. I'm going to take this free city, and I'm thinking ideas is great, but I'm also thinking money could be really darn nice for us. Either way, I have 2 really, really good options of what to do right now. I have $21. Money is going to start disappearing from here really super quickly, except I'm going to do this. I'm probably going to tax here very, very quickly. So ideas would be good, stone would be good. I'm thinking we're going to go for ideas. So I will take this, just like this, and that's going to give me 9 ideas. I think that's the better idea for me right now. So got the 9 ideas, take that, remove that from the game. That is going to be our turn. Refill the technology card, and we'll get the scientific method. Next up for the Hero Botus is going to be the build card. So now we get to the build action, and now we're going to figure out exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to take 1 stone, and they will spend the 1 stone for the build action, and now they're going to look for a project and a town. Are there any projects up here? Yes, there's actually 2 projects on the row, so now we need to figure out which way they're going to go. So to figure out what project we're going to take, because he's going to take a project and a town, we're going to figure out which one of these projects he wants. There's multiple projects. We're going to take the project that first matches our symbol. His symbol is this symbol right here for the engineer, if you forget. Since neither one of these projects match that symbol, we're going to take the project that's furthest to the right. So we'll take this project and we'll simply move it over here and we'll add this into the pile of possible future victory points for them that they can gain later on in the game. So now they've taken that, now we're going to take a town. So we see that there's only one town available in the offer, and that's going to be a farm town. So they will take a farm town. And since they got a farm town, we need to figure out where this farm town is going to go. So we'll flip over a card, we will get Assyria. Well, that's going to make it nice and easy because there's only one place in Assyria they can go. We'll take a farm town and they will connect it to their current town, and then they will get this trade goods symbol here. Now, the trade goods symbols, you really don't need to worry about them. The Hero Bodice is simply going to keep them in a way to figure out which future ones they may need if there's going to be a tie, but basically they don't really do anything with them. So you can basically just put it off to the side. You don't need to sweat it. Don't need to worry about it. It's not something too important for them. So the card in question, since there's no victory points on or anything like that, we don't need to worry about it. Let's just toss it out to the side. Let's slide all the cards down to the right because they will slide away from the deck where they come from, and then we will refill it with Project Quarries, and we will get Project Civic Center. That's a lot of projects. I don't think I like that because I believe the engineer loves projects, which is going to make my game a little bit more challenging, a little bit more differenter. Just a little bit more differenter. Okay, back to my turn. Let's see here. You only have 2 cards left. One of those is going to be a reshuffle, and one of those is going to be an action. That means this is my last action before you get to do your little special fun thing as the engineer. So I better make this action count a heck of a lot. One more population and then do a tax action could be a good idea for me, I think. Although just taxing and getting that money just might be awesome at this point right here, right now. Because I have 5 plus 13, that'd be 18. Plus, how many of these symbols do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, I have 5 of those symbols right now. So that's 18, 23, 33, 43, 48. Wow, I think I'm going to take a tax action because that to me just seems like one heck of a really darn good idea to get me a lot of money to help me in future endeavors I need to do, because I need to build out 2 more port cities. And I also need to get 1 more military unit out there. If I can do that, I can claim all of those civilization achievements. That'd be really super duper awesome for me. Extremely awesome. So let's go ahead and do that. Take a tax action. My population is 5. My current tax production is 13, so that's 18. Plus however many of these symbols I have 5 of them, so that's going to be a total of 23 I'm going to gain. So I'll take a 20, and then I will take 3, and then I will clear out this section right here, which is going to give me way more than enough money to help me take care of all my actions. Fortunately, I now have 2 unrest for me at the end of the game. Not a big deal. I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and flip over the next card, which is going to be tax, which is 2 times population. Wow, where were you just 1 moment ago when I needed you? Now we're going to go over to Hero Bodice, and we'll flip over, and we will get the reshuffle action. Now this is where you can see where all the different leaders play a little bit differently. Every one of them has a different special action which is going to occur before we're going to reshuffle the deck. So General Scribe has a military action, the Philosopher and Artist have a technology action, the Magistrate and the Engineer, who we're playing, have a build action, the Merchant and the Priestess have a collect money from the whole area plus 10 money from the supply action, and the Farmer has a place 1 farm town action. Also gain 1 random wonder or achievement. So let's go ahead and take this 1 step at a time and figure out exactly what we're going to do for all the player, or for the Hero Bodice player. So the Hero Bodice player, for their build action, they're going to do the build action with the city and town priority. Well, what does that mean when I'm talking about the city and the town priority? Well, they are looking for this card right here, which has a city and town priority on it. I know it doesn't really explain too well in the rule book, but well, there's a couple other issues I have with the rule book, but let's not get into that. That's all going to be part of my review here. But when you look at this, you're going to follow this build card that has a city or town, not the project and town one. You're going to follow the city and town one. You're going to follow it just like you would do a normal build action. So we're going to do a city and town build action. Now, how do we do this? Well, we're going to look to see if there's any city and towns out here. I have projects, project, and oh, I actually have a city. So since I have a city, they are going to go ahead and build that city, and then they're going to look to see if they have a town. Well, unfortunately, there are no towns out there, so now that means that the town they're going to build is the town that they have the most of. Since we know we already have 1 farm out there, that means we already have 1 manufactured town that we're going to put out there, because we obviously have the most manufactured towns. And we will simply add that out there to go along with the city that we're going to build. And it's going to be built just based on the location rules that we would normally follow. So there's for our manufacturing town, and there is going to be our architectural city. So the only thing we care about on this is the location of this town. So we're going to draw for the city first for its location. So we'll flip over location card, and we're going to see that the location is going to be in Egypt. So we're going to look out here, and we're going to find the token, the cash tile in Egypt that gives it the greatest value. Now at this point, they will actually take money because money is worth victory points from, so they're not going to ignore the victory points from the cash tiles. So they will simply take this, and they're going to place it down there. We'll put this off to the side just for a second so I don't forget. Now we need to figure out where this town is going to go, so let's flip over the next location, and it's also going to go in Egypt. And we're going to put that out there in a way that gives it a trade good that it needs the most of, and then we're going to figure that out by going through a process tree here really quick. So the way this is going to work when we're trying to figure out where this manufacturing town is going to go, it's going to pick the trade good that it doesn't have and that I don't have, because basically it's going to try to cheat me out of this. And if we're going to go through this process tree and nothing really matches what we need to do, we're just going to pick randomly. So I'm just going to pick randomly, and I'm going to take this one just to make this video as efficient as possible, because I don't want to be here all day when it comes to this video right here. So now that we've done this, now this right here is not going to be worth money. It's going to be worth the trade good it has at least up. So we have 4 stone, we have 1 idea. That means we have no food. So it's going to take the 1 food, and that's what it's going to get from this money right here. We'll just simply take the money out to the side. And again, since this isn't worth victory points, I don't need to worry about it. I can toss out this side, and now we need to rebuild the deck over here. So a quick, easy way to do it is we're just going to shuffle these up just like this. Take the top card, and then we're going to shuffle it with this. And then now our Hero Bodice Actions card deck has been rebuilt. And now we're ready to continue on with the rest of the next round. Starting with me as the player, of course, first I got to make sure I put out the new build card. Now we're ready to go ahead and start things out and go into my round and figure out what I want to do with this pretty darn interesting board. And before we go any further, I just realized something. I forgot to do something very important. Part of the Hero Bodice's reshuffle card is they gain a random wonder. And I need to make sure that happens, because it's supposed to be totally random for the wonder they get. So they will get eeny, meeny, miny, no. They will get that wonder right there. And what wonder are they going to gain? Ooh, the Colosseum of Rome. Well, that is super duper nice for them. I'll put that over there, and they'll be super duper happy about that. And now we need to figure out exactly where their Colosseum is going to go. So the Colosseum is going to go in the location or the region where they have most influence. So we have 2, 3, 6 influence there, and we have 5 influence over here. So that means they're going to go in this region over here. They're going to go on a tile where they are at a part of the region where they're not actually going to take a tile at all. So I will just place it. And let's just place it. Let's do that just because it looks kind of cool. So that is a little retcon thing I've almost forgotten. That would have been pretty darn terrible if I forgot that, because that's like 8 victory points for the Hero Bodice player alone. Now I'm back to my turn where I need to figure out exactly what I want to do, and I think I'm going to build a farm town. Now building a farm town is going to be really nice for me for a couple different reasons. One, it's going to allow me to add some extra influence, because I want influence here, because right now I'm at 6, 7 influence. So I'm in the lead. Actually, I don't even need a farm town there. What I really need is I need to explore over here. But, you know, this could be nice for me to get the ideas, because eventually I'm going to need to start building some projects. Those take stone and those take ideas. Let's get at least some of the ideas we need. So I'm building a farm town. I'm going to put the farm town just here like this, and I'm going to claim 8 ideas. Put 2 back and take 10 more just to make my life a heck of a lot easier here in just a second. So now I have 10 there. And I'm going to gain 5 food production, and I'll put the food production right there, and this farm town is going to give me that symbol right there. That is my second of those symbols, just like that. We will replace that out just like that, and we're going to add a port city onto the board. That is super duper nice. I am really liking how this is going so far. Tyranny. During Empire Scorn, you will score victory points in a region where you have a majority of influence. Ooh, I want to get tyranny as quickly as possible. I forgot about that one. There are so many things I want to be doing. Everything is just, I want to do everything. I can't do it all. But Hero Bodice can definitely do some, and Hero Bodice can, well, they can tax and tariff. Population next to the discard pile, they're going to military. Otherwise, they're going to spend 1 food, which they definitely have, and they're going to take the lowest unrest, tax, and tariff card and place it next to the discard pile. Or place this card. So they're going to take the tariff card because it's worth the least amount. And there's nothing here, so they just get the basic $10. That puts them up to $20 from the prior tariff action, plus this current one that gives them $20 right there. Put that up to the side. Replace that with a tax card, not a great tax card. And then this one card next to the discard pile, we have done that. So now it is back to our turn. Okay, I am flat out going to go for the port city. So port city, just like that, we're going to have to spend 2 population. It leaves us 3 population. We are going to spend 8 stone. I don't have it, so I'm going to spend, I'm sorry, 4 stone. I don't have it, so I'm going to spend $10. And I'll get $2 back, and then I get to gain $10 for building a port city, and I get to place 10 into the holding area. I now have a port city, and I'm going to place that port city out someplace really cool where I'm going to start leeching off some victory points. Let's leech off some victory points right here, because I'm sure that is going to score here pretty darn soon. That's it for my turn. Now it's back to the Hero Bodice player. After I refill that build card, because I keep forgetting to do that. That's getting funny now at this point. Hero Bodice for their turn, flip over their action card, and we will get population. If Tax and Tariff is next to the discard pile, they are going to gain a cavalry. So we need to figure out where this cavalry is going to go. I'll place the cavalry right there, and the location for the cavalry will be in Assyria. Well, that makes it super duper nice. That is going to be the totally locked in military location for them. They own Assyria. Probably want to build some there so I can kind of leech off some victory points when we get to empire scoring, which is going to happen eventually. So let's figure out how we can do it. Oh, I know. Let's build a port city. So to build a port city, I will discard 2 more population. I will spend $8 for the stone because I don't have any stone at all. So there's the $8 to represent the stone I will need. I will take the port city card. $10 will go here. I will take $10 for myself from building the port city action. And then I'm going to build a port city. And let's build a port city right here. I will claim this right here. And I believe that is also going to give me 6 more victory points. Because we will claim the seafaring civilization because I have 3 port cities. 1, 2, 3 port cities. That is a lot of victory points for me. I'm looking super duper happy. So let's go ahead and replace that with the project hospitals. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Not the best thing for me. I may not necessarily go for that. I'm not going to worry about that. But Hero Bodice is they're going to do a technology action. So we do have 1 of these. They will spend their idea, and they'll look for anything that's worth question marks. There is 1. They will take that. They will place it over here. They will take the card to the left, which is early sciences. Don't need that. Worry about that. Slide over, refill, and we will get masonry. Add a free city advancement to any one of your cities, or a free adjacent to any one of your cities. That can be nice. And fermenting, 1 victory point for every single heart. I'm not seeing a lot of the military symbols, which is what I was kind of hoping for. They're not happening. That's just not working out in my favor. Oh well, what can you do? Got to go with what you got. But now it is back to my turn. Let's see here. I got plenty of money for now, so I'm not worried about taxing or tariffing. He's already done tax and tariff, so I don't have to worry about him getting lots of free victory points. I think this is a time where I might want to think about government. It's going to be 5 ideas to go with the tyranny. I think this is probably a good time to go tyranny because we're probably going to expect a scoring phase pretty darn soon. During empire scoring, you will score victory points per region where you have a majority of influence, which is here, here, here. So that's going to be 2 victory points. That's an extra 6 victory points for tyranny if I can keep it. So it requires 2 of this pillar of civilization, which I have, plus it's also going to cost me 5 ideas. I have 15 ideas. I got that very, very easily. I'm not going to worry about that. And as a matter of fact, who do I want to flush the build roll right now, or do I want to wait? Because I probably want to push for a empire scoring round. Do I want to do it now, though? I am thinking not quite yet. All those projects look so darn good. Do I want to do it? Oh my gosh, it's so darn tempting to do it, because every one of those helps the Hero Bodice. None of those help me. Every one of these is victory points for Hero Bodice, and I know he's going to get his build action. It's in there. He's going to get it. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use my tyranny. I'm going to flip it for its 1-time power. It's usable 1 time only per game, and I'm going to flush this entire row. Because none of these really super duper help me. I mean, there was one that was kind of close, That one, which is one, ooh, that's actually a lot of victory points for me. That's 6 victory points I'm flushing. But it's also a lot of victory points for the hero bodies, so I'm not going to do it. So I'm simply going to flush those, and let's go ahead and refill the row, and we'll get Project Roads, we'll get Farm Town, we will get another Farm Town. Yay. Hey, we're a cultural city, and ooh, and we're going to get Empire Scoring. This is actually perfect timing for Empire Scoring to come out. Let's go and show you how the Empire Scoring works when we're playing with the solo rules. So the first thing that's going to happen is going to be the military action. Now, actually, this military action is not going to do anything, but I'm going to show you how it basically works. So the first thing we'll do is flip over a location, and we're going to find the first region that Hero Bodice is military and I have military, and they're going to conduct a military action. So we would see here, I have no military, but the Hero Bodice does. We're going to see here, Hero Bodice has military, but I don't. We're going to see over here, no Hero Bodice. Here, no Hero Bodice. We're going to see here is Meier only. So nothing is going to happen for that military aspect. So we can just go ahead and basically ignore that and move on with the rest of the Empire Scoring phase. Now we get to perform the normal standard Empire Scoring phase and figure out exactly how that's going to work. But before that happens, don't forget my general has a power. It allows me to eliminate one military unit in a single region containing your infantry or cavalry before each Empire Scoring. Well, I didn't spread out quick enough to make that actually happen. I forgot I had that military there to do it. So that's not going to happen. So let's go ahead and figure out how many victory points I am going to have, and I'm going to use this to track for me, and I will use this to track, not that one. I will use this to track for the Hero Bodice player. So, starting with me, I have majority here, so that's going to be 3 victory points plus 1 for the city is going to be a total of 4 victory points. So I'll go ahead and score 4 victory points just for me, just like that, because that's all there is there. Then we'll come over to this area. So I have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 versus 2, 4, 6. I have majority here, so I'm going to gain the 3 victory points. 4 victory points, 5 victory points, 6, 7, 8. That's going to put me all the way up to 12 victory points right there. We don't need a score for the green because they never score. There's basically a blockade for us. Next, we're going to come over to this region. I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 2, 4, 6. So again, I have the majority here. So I gain 3 victory points, 4, 5, 6, 7 victory points right there. So that's going to make me go from 12 all the way to 19 victory points. Now we got to go over to the Hero Bodice player. They have the majority of the victory, or the majority of the influence here, so I'm going to gain 3 victory points, 4, 5, 6 victory points for them. I'm going to gain 2 because I have second place. That's going to put me at 21. Then we're going to come over here. They have the majority, so I'm going to gain 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts them at 12. I have second place, so I'm going to gain 2 more. That puts me at 23. Putting us at 23 to 12 for this Empire Scoring. So that's going to finish the Empire Scoring, but that's not everything that's going to finish for the Hero Bodice player, because there's one more thing we need to do after we do this part, and that's going to be allowing the neutral, the static player, to go ahead and expand their empire just a little bit. So the way this is going to work, we're going to take one city and we're going to take one town, and they are going to expand out. Now again, it has to stay connected, and we cannot take any tiles. If there's no way to do that, we're simply going to build out in a different way. So since there's no way to do that because we're completely blockaded all the way around here, we're just going to build just like this to make this nice and super simple. And then we will build over here for the farm section, and actually we can do this quite easy by building like that, and by building like that without causing any problems. That completes the Empire Scoring round for us. Now we can go ahead and finish building the deck, another farming city, and now we get to go back over to the Hero Bodice player because I'm the one who activated that scoring round. For the Hero Bodice, let's go and flip it over, and we will get the technology card. Now they don't have any ideas, so they are going to work, and they are going to gain 3 ideas because that's all they can do. So 3 ideas for them. They are finished, and now we get to go back to my turn, and I have a lot of things that I can do here. I am thinking that at this point I would love to go ahead and force the end game as quickly as possible. If I can dump the population deck and dump the tax and tariff deck as quickly as possible, I can possibly make life super duper awesome for me. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, well, hold on. The area control influence is a little bit different. I'm going to make some military. So to make military, I'm going to spend $15. So there's 20 of the 15. I will take 5 of it back because I can build up to 3 military. That is the power of my general, is I can create 3 military. So let's go ahead and gain 3 military. So let's gain 2 infantry and 1 cavalry. So I can put them anywhere I have a city. So I am thinking that we will take and do this smart. So we're at 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 versus 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So actually, since they don't score, I don't need to have the majority. So let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I will gain the most amount of victory points. That's actually the smartest thing to do for me. Then over here we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That guarantees that when those score, I will get the massive amount of victory points that I want for those 2 locations. I think I'm actually happy with that. That allows us to gain some pretty darn good victory points, and then I can continue on with what I want to do, but I want to build up in this location next. So if I can keep building up over here, I'm going to be happy. But let's go back over to the Hero Bodice player. They're going to do the build action, city and town. So we're looking for a city. There's a cultural city, so we will take the cultural city. We will take the farm town. We will take both of them just like that. So we're going to draw for the city first. The city will be in the reshuffle, so that's going to be nice and easy. So we'll take the reshuffle out. We will take these cards and we will shuffle them up. Draw the top 2. And where is this cultural city going? This cultural city is going to go into Egypt. So, city in Egypt, you will take the most valuable, which will give you 1 resource of what you don't have, which is going to be food. This will be removed from the game. Don't need to worry about that. And then for the farm town will be located also in Egypt. Wow, this is super duper convenient. So the farm town, you will put this, how do we want to do this? I think you will go for this. Nice and easy, simple like that. That is both of those, and, well, that's, take those, remove those. We're not going to worry about those. And now it is back to my turn after we refilled that build. Oops, slide them down, slide them down. Farm town and another farm town. Wow, we got a farming city, a farming town, and project roads. It's a lot of farming going on here. And I need people. So I'm thinking farm towns are going to be super duper awesome because that's going to give me food. I'm going to build a farm town. Now, how can I build this farm town that's going to help me the most? Where can I get this built that's going to be really good for me? Idea is food. These 2 regions are lost. I don't need to worry about them. I'm going to worry about other things for now. I think it'd be better to build, actually if I build here I can start building towards stone. I think that's what I'm going to do because obviously I'm going to need stone eventually. So we're going to gain 5 food, plus 1 food production, and then I need to place a farm out on the board. I will place the farm just like that, because I don't think I'm going to get to work. I don't see working happening for me this game. So that completes our action. Let's flip that card over. Another port city is going to come out. I think we are, that's pretty much it for us. Let's go ahead and, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to score the tyranny. So during Empire scoring, you will score 2 victory points where you have a majority of influence. That's going to be 2 victory points per region. I had majority 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be another 6 victory points. I forgot about that. That actually puts me at 29 thanks to my tyranny. I completely 100% forgot about that. So what is Hero Bodice going to do? We are going to do technology. So they're going to take 1 technology. They look for a question mark. There is a question mark. They will take it. They will also take fermenting, which will, or I'm sorry, masonry, which will be removed from the game. We will refill luxuries, and then we will refill astronomy. Okay, back to my turn. I'm going to spend, that's yours, this is mine, 5 food. Wait. What's that the food I just gained? I think that was the food. Did I gain food twice? Now I'm confusing myself. I think I forgot to take the food. Okay, that's kind of odd. I think I confused myself. I did not take the 5 food that I just gained, which would have been added to my 5 I already had, which puts me at 10. So there is 10 food. I need $4 more to go ahead and get that. So I will take a 5. I will get change back of 1. I'll spend these 10 food right now, and I will take this population card right here, which is going to give me +2 population, putting me back up to 3 population. Refill the population deck, and we will get, oh, nice, another Empire scoring. So this is actually pretty darn cool. I think we're going to get a lot of good victory points here. So let's put this off to the side. That is, don't want to make sure that doesn't get mixed up with the hero bodices. So here, Empire scoring. So let's go ahead and figure out the Empire scoring all over again. But before we do anything, there's going to be the military war where they're going to attack us. I'm going to flip over the card. Nothing can really happen because we don't have any match military. They're all alone. I'm all alone. It's not going to work out. But you saw how it worked before. I kind of explained it earlier. So now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and figure out the victory points on how this is going to work. So I have the majority here, so this is going to be 4 victory points. So it's going to give me 29 to 33 victory points. We're going to come over here. I have matching, because we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Matching, so I'm going to get the full amount of victory points. We're going to get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 victory points total for us. That puts us at 42 victory points. Same thing over here. I should have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus their 9. So it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 victory points for me. That's going to put me all the way up to 50 victory points. We'll come over here. They are going to have the majority. They're going to gain 3, 4, 5, 6 victory points for them, which puts them at 18. And then I gain 2 because I have second place. Over here, they're going to gain 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Yeah, 7. Yeah, 4. So 7, that puts them at 25. I'm going to gain 2 more because I have second place. And then I have majority here, but Tyranny says you have to have majority. So I don't have a majority in those other 2 sections. So this scoring phase, I'm only going to gain extra 2 victory points. That puts me all the way up to 56. Not quite as good for Tyranny. Maybe I should switch out of Tyranny, because if I'm having trouble keeping up with that, that's going to be much, much more challenging. That could be better. I think Theocracy would be better. Score 2 victory points for each region that contains at least one of your cities. That's going to be 10 victory points for me. I think that is what we're going to do. But before that happens, we need to build out the rest of the board for all these empires. So this and manufacturing. And then we have this and farm for them. That finishes out that empire scoring round. Let's go ahead and remove the empire scoring card and flip over the next population card, which will be a +2 on the population there. Huh. Interesting. Now things are livening up quite a bit, but now it's time for the hero bodies to take their turn, and we need to figure out exactly what is going to happen. And this now just got interesting, because keeping area majority against this is going to be really, really challenging. I'm definitely going to switch to Theocracy really super duper quick. Okay. Let's figure out what Hero Bodice is going to do. Hero Bodice is going to do a military, so they're going to gain 1 cavalry and 1 military unit. Where are they going to go? They are going to go in Egypt. Easy enough to make that happen. Then they're going to do a technology action. So they do have 1 idea. Let's see here. They will gain this plus whatever is to the left. That will be removed. Advance that. Textiles, and what do we have here? We have Schools of Thought. I am not seeing a lot of military cards. There's been so few military cards in this game. That's why this is extremely tactical, not a strategic game. Planning for a strategy is not good, because your strategy may never ever happen at all, and that can be kind of a bit of a challenge. So for me, I need to build. Port City does nothing for me. Actually I could do military again. If I do military again twice, that might be nice for me if I can do this just right. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Both these are 12. So I'm at 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I get 12 in both, I'll be good. So I'm going to spend 20 for a military action. I will get 5 back. I will put out 3 more military units, and I'll place them all over here, so they're part of this region. Now I will get the maximum amount of victory points for that. We're going to go back over the Hero Bodice, because that is my turn, and they will bring out the reshuffle card. So we're going to do the build with the priority of the city and town in case it comes down to it. So we have the city and town. So do we have a city here? We do have a city. Do we have a town here? We do have a town. So that will take the far right town over here, just like that. So the location of the city is going to be in Italia. It's about time they start spreading out because they've been so darn tied up in that little area over there. It's been kind of frustrating. So they're building a port city, and they will get that trade good. And then the location of the farming city is going to be Assyria. So farming city in Assyria. They can only go, that's pretty much the only thing they can do. So that will be the farming city in Assyria. These two cards will be discarded, just like that. So I've kind of forgotten a couple things, and I should go back and fix them because it is going to make a difference. I know I actually got that military civilization achievement, but I also know that I've been forgetting to add money over here into the tax section every time the hero bodice has built this city. Because if I look over here just like this, I see that they have built 3 cities already earlier, which is going to be city 1, 2, I thought it was 3 cities. 1, 2, where's the third city? Did I make a major mistake and I'm just totally not realizing it? Oh, this could be so darn frustrating if I made a major mistake. Or, this is what I hate, trying to do this and try to be efficient. I'm going to have to put some comments in the video because I'm pretty sure I forgot to add some money a few times and I may have made some other mistakes because I was just trying to be too quick and too darn efficient with everything, which is never ever a good sign. But let's go ahead and remember now. So we did a port city, so they're going to gain $10. That puts them at 30 because remember that is worth victory points for them in the game. Put 10 more into the taxation section right there. And I keep on feeling like I made another mistake somewhere, somehow. Oh, that's going to be very, very frustrating for me. Yeah, that's going to be frustrating. I know I made a mistake. I'll leave show notes down below. I apologize, everybody. But, hey, when you're trying to control a lot of things at the same time, it's bound to happen. It's just it's hard to not let it happen. So, since there are no achievements left, they're going to get a random wonder, which is going to be worth 8 victory points for them entering the game. So we will randomly choose the Great Pyramid, and it's going to go where they have the most influence, which I think is now over here, because we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 11. So they have the most influence there. So the Great Pyramids will go over here. That will gain them this token right here, which they will actually, no, wait. They don't get the tokens for those. Wow, I'm just kind of getting all kind of confuzzled here because I'm kind of flustered with the slight mistake I was making there. Kind of frustrating. Okay. That's going to be worth 8 victory points for them at the end of the game. Place that over there for them. And now we have to reshuffle the Hero Bodice deck with the next actions for them to do. And, wow, I'm sorry. That's just frustrating. Done. Their action is done. It's now back to my turn, and I'm going to do a military action. Spend 15. Yeah, I will spend 15 for a military action. I will create 3 more military, and they will go up here. So that means I now have 3, 4, 5, 6, oh wait, hold on, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That means that I will score off of that. I will score off of this. That is going to be my action for myself. Now we have to go back to the Hero Bodice player. We'll flip over and they will do the build action. Before I do that, refill that. And we will refill that. City or town. Is there a city? There is a port city. There is also a town. Where are these going to show up? Well, we'll do the port city first, and that will show up in Assyria. So we'll get a port city in Assyria. They cannot go into Assyria, so then we're going to follow the circle. We'll come over here. They cannot go over here because there are no port cities available, so now we end up going over here. They will put their port city just like that, and now the location for the farm town. And the farm town is going to be located, well, we'll get the reshuffle. It'll be a surprise all the way through. Take off the top two, shuffle those in with a shuffle card, draw our new location, and it will also go a farm city into Assyria. And you'll place it just like that. Trade good. We are done. This time I'm actually going to remember 10 here, 10 for themselves. That's 10 victory points for them at the end of the game. We're done. Back to my turn. Okay. If they get the tax action, that's going to be a lot of money for them. I don't want to take the tax action, but I'm going to do it just because I don't want them to get all those victory points. So I'll take the tax action. My population is 3, so that's going to be 3. Plus my production is 3 for 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Total of 21 for taking that action, plus all of these. So I'll take $21 just to stop them from getting a massive amount of money, which make me get a huge headache because that's going to be a lot of victory points for them. Move that, and we'll flip over, and we will get another tax card. Refill the build roll because I forgot to do that. It is now back to the hero bodice who is going to do technology. They will discard idea, and do we have any question marks? We do not have any question marks, so I'm going to take the one that matches. We will take this one, plus the one to the left, remove those from the game, and now it is back to our turn after we refill the rows. Still, no military symbols. This is why we got to play differently sometimes. I wonder if I just go all the way madly for that. Before I do that, I am going to build the research city. That's going to give me victory points. I'm going to build the research city. That's going to cost 2 population. It's going to cost $10 because I do not have any stone at all to build it. And it's going to allow me to add $5 into the taxation section. We will build the research city, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those symbols. 1, 2, 3 of those. So I need 1 more of those gray symbols. And then I will have the city-states, which is another free city. Okay, so we did the research city. Where do I want to build this city right now? That's what I need to figure out. How can I help myself the most here? Food would be nice because I cannot build any more cities at all. But stone would be great. So would money. Money no, money's not a problem for me. I don't need to have a money problem. I have a stone problem. So it's these 2 locations. I am thinking over here. That's going to give us 6 stone. Remove that. Now we get to go back to the hero bodice player. Nope, I did not refill. Refill the build. We're going to get another farm town. Hero bodice's action is going to be to build a project in a town. So we have multiple projects. None of them have a hammer. So we're going to take the far right project, which is going to be Project Roads. And that'll be victory points for them. They will also take a town. So they will take the far right farm town. This will be built in Assyria. Wow, they are just building up Assyria, something fierce. Good thing I didn't go to Assyria because it just wasn't a very friendly place for me. Did we build up all our farms? No, we did not. So they will take this, which is going to give them 1 food resource. Farm town will be removed. That will be removed also. That is their action. Slide over. What do I want to do? I'm thinking I want to force the end game at this point because they are catching up to us on technologies. These are a massive amount of victory points. I need to jump ahead because right now things are not looking that great for us. I don't want a tax action, but I think if I can tax, I can find a way to get to another empire scoring. If I get to another empire scoring, that's going to be perfect for us. So I'm going to take this tax action right here, which is going to give us 13 plus 2 times that, which is going to be 23, 24, 25. So I'm going to get 25 plus that is going to be 30. So there's 25 I will gain. Yes, I'm losing victory points, but I'm hoping that we are going to, yes, we got an empire scoring. That is going to be the last empire scoring, and he's just going to take his action because I'm the starting player, and that's going to be the end of the game. So let's do our empire scoring and figure out exactly what is going to happen here. So we have the majority here, so we're going to gain 3, 4, 5, 6 victory points for us. Oh, I forgot to switch out my government. Oh, I forgot to switch out. Damn it, I wanted to switch out my government. Oh well, hindsight's 2020. No retconning that one. So it's 4, 5, 6 victory points for us. That puts us at 62. They are going to gain 2, going to 27. Here we are going to have a push for majority. He's not going to gain anything, so we are going to gain 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 victory points for us. That's going to put us at 73. Over here, we're going to gain majority again. So we're going to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 victory points for us. That puts us at 82. Over here, they are going to gain, 4, 5, 6. That puts them at 33. Gives us 2 more, putting us at 84. Over here, they're going to gain 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 41, and I'm going to gain 2 off of that. I know the scores aren't that high right now, but hopefully, wait, I'm going to get one more action. I will buy Theocracy. No, there's no more empire scorings. That does me no good. Oh well, doesn't matter. So I have majority here. That's going to be 2 victory points. And I think that's the only place I have majority. So that's going to be another 2 from my tyranny government. Because I think I pushed everywhere else. So that is going to be tyranny. That is that empire scoring card. We'll put on the next tax card. Flip over the hero bodice. He will do technology. He does not have that, so he's going to work for 3 ideas. It's now back to my turn. I have one last thing I can do for victory points, and I'm basically looking for anything that's going to give me the most amount of victory points out of anything I can do. This right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 victory points, and yeah, there you go. There's 12 victory points for me right there. I'm going to take Project Aqueduct, because words are hard some days. I need 5 stone and 5 ideas. Here's 5 stone. Here is 5 ideas. We will take Project Aqueducts. That's going to give us our 6th one of these symbols right here, which allows us to get also a free city. Where do I want this free city to go? Where I want this free city to go someplace where I get a lot of victory points. So why don't we put it over here in this region? And that will give us dominance, which will be much, much nicer for the in-game scoring. I think that's what we'll do. I'll just put it right there because it's not going to matter. Victory points for us, that will be it. Now the hero bodice gets their absolutely last action, which will be tax and tariff. So for the tax and tariff action, they're going to take the one that has the least amount. That will be this one. They will gain $10 for the tax and tariff action. And that is going to be the end of the game. Now we get to add up all our victory points and do our final end of game scoring and see exactly how this is all going to pan out for all of us. Let's see if I'm actually going to keep my lead. Hopefully I will, because this is kind of interesting at this point. I'm not quite sure I won this game, but hey, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes out. So now we get to move to final scoring, and this final scoring is going to be based on the difficulty level we chose, whether we choose moderate difficulty, easy difficulty, challenging difficulty, or expert difficulty. Since we chose moderate difficulty, we get to score based on the moderate difficulty level, which is a standard difficulty level for the game. So we're going to score 2 victory points for each city and 2 victory points for each town that it has on the board. It does not lose victory points for unrest. So it's going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So that's going to put it from 41 all the way to 65 victory points for all of those. After that, it's going to gain 6 victory points for each technology card it has in its victory point pile. That's ones with the question mark symbol. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be 30 victory points for them. That puts them all the way up to 95 victory points. Yes, they have now taken the lead. Then they're going to get the victory points on the cards as shown. So we have 2, 4 victory points. That's going to give them 4 more. They're going to go from 95 to 99. Then they're going to gain 6 for each project card it has. It has no project cards. It's going to gain 6 victory points for each civilization achievement tile it has. It has none. And 8 victory points for each wonder it has. 2 wonders. So that's going to be 16. So that's going to put it at 115 victory points. So let's mark 100. Go all the way up to 15, just like that. And 1 victory point for every 10 money that it has. So thanks to all its taxing actions, it has $50. So that's going to be 5 victory points. That's going to go from 115 to 120. 1 victory point for every 5 population on the population cards that it has. I think it had 1 population card, which had +3. Or no, that was actually my population card. I don't think they ever got a population card. I don't think it ever worked out for them. So basically their final score is going to be 120. Now let's see if I can manage to beat 120 victory points by using the standard scoring method. So standard scoring method, end of game scoring. I'm getting 2 victory points for every single city I have. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So that's going to put me at 108 right there. Hey, I managed to loop. Put out my little guy right there. Next thing we're going to do is Golden Ages and, oops, sorry, 1 for every farm in town. So we have 1 farm, 2 farms, 2 more victory points. Golden Ages and Civilization Achievement. So 6, 12, 18, 24, whoops. Let's see here. So basically I have 6 of them. So that's going to be 36 victory points. That's going to put me at 146. And let's see, no wonders, no manufacturing towns, no, oh wait, no, I did have a project. So I think I had 1 project only. So it's going to gain me 6 victory points because I have, itself counts as 1 of the symbols. There's 2 other symbols. 3, 4, 5, 6 of those symbols. So that's going to be 6 more victory points for me. That puts me at 152. And finally, technology cards and then unrest. So technology cards, I don't think I scored anything from technology cards at all. I'm pretty sure, nope. Oh, there's 2 victory points and, oh, I had another project. I should have remembered to do that. So 2 more victory points, that's in 154. And then this one, I have 1 of those symbols, plus 1 for my leaders. 2, 3, 4, 5 military symbols. So that's going to put me at 159. Now out of that, I am going to lose 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 victory points. That puts me down to 152. Definitely not the highest scoring game, but hey, it's a victory for me, and I'll take a victory any single way. Now, I know I made a couple mistakes here because I was trying to rush through everything and trying to show you the gameplay, and I do apologize for that, and I'll leave comments where those errors occurred. But I think you have a rough idea of exactly how the game plays when you're trying to play the solo rules of this game. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this video series. If you have any comments or questions, make sure to leave them down in the YouTube comments down below. I will get to them as quickly as I can. Also, feel free to email me off-the-shelf board game reviews. That is otsbgr@gmail.com. I do my best to answer those emails as quickly as I can. If you enjoy the videos, you enjoyed the content I put out there, think about supporting the channel on Patreon. Just tossing $1 in tip jar is a great way to say thanks. Channel's 100% self-funded. All the games you see that come out there come out of my own pocketbook. Just by tossing $1 in tip jar is a great way to help me keep those games coming out there. Good example is this is nearly a game that's nearly $200, so you can see how much I had to pay for this versus just how much assistance I get from Patreon. You can help me cover those costs, help me keep bringing those games out there for all these videos for you to enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this video series. Make sure you like and subscribe. Work on that 10,000 subscribers in 10 years. And as always, thanks for watching. So I hope you enjoyed that playthrough of me playing the game of Mosaic: A Story Civilization as a solo playthrough. This is basically just going to be an addendum, additional review I'm going to add on to the end of the single solo playthrough video, because as I was putting the game away, and that explains why the lights are probably terrible right now, because I was cleaning everything up to the point where if you actually look down at my table, the game I have on my table right now is going to be Hellenica, because it just made me want to play this game because it's a game I enjoy so much more as a solo game. But what I want to do is add a little bit of addendum onto the review as this game stands as a solo game. Because, well, to be blunt, I don't enjoy this game as a solo game at all. And that's talk about Mosaic, the game itself. The game of Mosaic, for what it is a interesting area control, very interesting set collection game that I enjoy as a multiplayer game. I enjoy it quite a bit playing as a 4 or 5 player game, because what it does is it gives me the feeling of a Civilization style game, but it gives me that small playtime. Now, I don't always want that small playtime, but when I have friends over and we don't have a lot of time, I can't say, hey guys, you want to play a game such as Space Empires 4X without them going, no, and running for the hills. But I can pull out a game such as Mosaic and say, hey, you all want to play Mosaic? And they're going to say, yeah, we do that. We got about 2 hours to spare. Let's go and play Mosaic. So for what it is, I enjoy the game. I don't enjoy the game at all as a solo game. Matter of fact, as I was playing through the solo game, there are so many times where I just want the solo game to end. And it's not because the game is broken. Well, maybe. But it's more of an issue of it's not my kind of solo game. Mosaic: A Story of Civilization, as a solo game, a lot of the warts that I really don't like in the multiplayer game come to the forefront. All those warts that I sit there going, I don't really like this, but there's all these cool things that are going on as a multiplayer game. I can live with it. I can get over it. I can ignore these little warts. The moment I play this game as a solo game, every one of those warts comes to the forefront, and all I can do is just see those warts, every single one of them, and get frustrated and want the game to end as quickly as possible. Now, I tried to be as excited as I could for the playthrough, because I know that this is a style of game that a lot of people will actually enjoy as a solo game, but for me, it is the exact polar opposite. I don't enjoy this game as a solo game at all, and here's one of the main reasons why. As I say in my review, and I speak about this as a multiplayer game, this game is extremely tactical. That's also a nice way of saying the game is random. Now, tactical and random can go hand in hand, especially if a game is designed to be that way. Let's take a game such as 5 Tribes. I talked about it in my review, but let's talk about the game of 5 Tribes. 5 Tribes is random as heck in a very controlled manner. Wait, how do you have random control? Well, when you play the game of 5 Tribes, you can plan out your perfect move. By the time it comes back to your turn, your perfect move has been destroyed. Random chaos, or chaotic randomness, whatever you want to say, or chaotic perfectly set information. But the game works. In this game, it doesn't work. Because in this game, everything can come out so darn randomly that there's either going to be a game where it's stupidly, mind-numbingly easy to win, kind of how this playthrough went through, because all the cards were just perfect for me. Except for one set of cards I couldn't get, everything was kind of mind-numbingly boring when it came to my decisions. I know there was a few points where I'm going, yeah, but most of it was me going, yeah, it's pretty obvious decisions. Because the way the game comes out, it is very, very random as a solo game. If I play the game of Mosaic as a solo game, I'm going to get a random set of leaders. I'm going to get a random set of civilization achievements. I'm going to get a random set of governments that are going to come out. And then I'm going to get a random set of how the technology cards come out. And it's either going to be for me, or in some cases, I've had this occur, it's going to be very much against me. And I find that very, very frustrating. I do not enjoy a game that is a foregone conclusion right when the game starts. Now, I know this sounds brutal to say, but you know what I mean. When you look at a game and you start playing, you go, yeah, there's no way I can win this game. Or the polar opposite, where you look at a game and go, yeah, there's really no way I can lose this game. And you actually see that in my playthrough. Every one of the cards, everything that came out was almost 100% perfect for me. And I was getting kind of bored with it. And you actually see as I'm starting to go through the turns, I'm going, yeah, the AI does this and does this and this. And there's many times where I forgot to pull off a resource, or I forgot to do a little minor thing, because I was just getting bored of it. I just wanted to go through the game very, very quickly. But I was still at the same time feeling the frustration of one part of my strategy never worked. It would have never worked, and in the entire game, it came across those cards that I kind of wanted to come out never happened. I had no control over it. There's nothing I could do to change it. There's no way I could modify it. Nothing I could do at all. So, what I want to say about this game is I really greatly enjoyed the game of Mosaic as a multiplayer game with friends, as a civilization game, as a quicker playing civilization game. If you want the criteria of a quicker playing civilization game, I'm happy with Mosaic. If you want a solo playing game, I would never recommend this game. Not because it's broken, just because of how random it is. But I'll caveat though. If I was to take the game of Mosaic, and I actually mentioned this in my review multiple times, and hopefully you get the point across, but I will say here one more time. In the game Mosaic, at the lower player counts, I actually enjoy the AI because it forces players to play more aggressively. It forces players to go out there and stop resting on the laurels. Because the lower player counts in this game, it's so easy if you have multiple players who are kind of like the kind of players who like just to sit back and not be too aggressive. If you get 2 or 3 players who are very non-aggressive and just want to keep going card, there's nothing to stop it. The AI stops that because the AI kind of goes out there very aggressively. And basically every time the AI takes a turn, it's getting points. There's really not much the AI does that doesn't give it some form of points. Now I know once in a while the technology deck is going to give it a couple rounds where it's not going to really get points, but those instances are few and far between. Pretty much everything the AI is going to do is going to give it points. So if you take a turn and you're not gaining points, you're falling behind the AI. So for me, that makes a 2 and 3 player game versus the AI a little bit more enjoyable. But it makes the solo game so darn frustrating and so darn annoying because it is very possible, if the cards are not in your favor, to have 1, 2, 3, or even 4 turns in a row where you're doing really nothing. Yes, you're getting a couple cards, maybe you're doing a couple things, but they're not helping you get those victory points. And you're going to see that the victory points of the AI is going to start skyrocketing those instances, and you can't stop it, which is another thing that is kind of hampering about this game as a solo game. There is denial in the game, a little bit, but there's no way to really counteract or stop anybody in this game. This goes for multiplayer and for the solo game. There's no way to really stop somebody when they're running away with the ball. If you don't stop them from running away with the ball, once they have the ball and start running, they're going to keep running. You need to stop them somehow. You can't really do that versus the AI. The way things come out, it's too darn random, and it just gets very, very frustrating. So I'm basically adding this addendum onto the end of this full playthrough for the solo video as kind of like a mini review. And if there's something you all enjoy, I may do this a little more often. But basically, I just want to say that it isn't a game that I enjoy as a solo game. I'm not going to play this game as a solo game ever again. And I do mean ever again. I just don't enjoy it. And I really don't find a reason to do it because it felt either too easy or just too random and not what I wanted. I do enjoy the game Mosaic. I am glad I own it. I'm glad it's part of my collection. I do enjoy it as a multiplayer game for a lighter Civilization style game, but as a solo game goes, this is probably one of the last games I ever pick as a solo game. I would pick a game such as Hellenica first because the AI is so much better in this game, which is basically why I have it on the table. I mean, if I were to tilt the camera down right now, you'd see I have a 3-player Hellenica set up right now, and I'm actually pretty darn excited to play it because it's going to be Sparta versus the Athenians versus the Corinthians, and I'm going for Sparta because Sparta. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. I really do hope you enjoy this video series. Check out all the entire videos in this video series for the game of Mosaic, A Story of Civilization. If you have any comments, questions, you know the deal. Leave them down below. You know how to email. You know how to get a hold of me. Help support the channel on Patreon because I do need your support to keep the channel growing strong. And as always, you know it. Thanks for watching.